Hello, everyone. It is your girl, Boss Lady Lexi. How is everyone doing today? Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you so much for coming into this video. Watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today's message is about well, it's two things. One is about my workout on Friday. It was great. I'm going to show some clips of what I learned in a different video, but I just wanted to bring that awareness to that. And second, this video that I'm going to be talking about today is about adults finding that they have autism or that they are autistic. And I guess when you are an adult, you know, your spectrum is a little bit different from a spectrum of a child. After you have lived, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get this paper out. A certain amount of time on earth, feeling like you were, normal, but come to find out, there was something eating you up inside that made you feel, different from everybody. And I said this earlier before in a previous video. I don't know how I stumbled across this, but I felt like I was a person who really fit some of the traits that the young lady was talking about. And what made me feel as though I fit some of the traits were, one that she was talking about is I need time to adjust to something that's going to be new. I need more than a 24-hour notice. And when I say that, because when it was time for me to do my physical therapy, it was supposed to have been for Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, but I couldn't do it because my mind wouldn't allow me to do it, because that was not. I needed time to prepare myself mentally because I didn't know what I would be getting myself into. So that's number one. And I can't find the paper that I was looking for that had all of my little notes that I had jotted down about autism. But the one that really stuck out to me was time. I cannot function off of time, off of short notice. I have to have that extra time to prepare myself for whatever it is that needs to be done. Another thing that I noticed within myself is, even though I am an introvert, it really hurts. And some people, they'll sit there and say, oh, it's okay, but they're really hurting inside. And, people just constantly taking advantage, of you. And, or when things change where someone says that they're going to help, me to do something, and then when they change their mind, that's another like setback for me. And most people are able to just pass it by and go on to like brush it off their shoulder. But with me, I cannot brush it off my shoulder. I have to, it really makes me upset. It makes me mad. It makes me angry. And the way that my anger triggers it is that I want to throw tantrums. I want to throw things. I just want to, just let it out. But, when it comes down to just letting it out, you don't want your family members or anyone to think that, you're not mentally stable in the mind. So you just, I guess you would like woo-sah with it. It's really, really something. And lately, I've been going through a lot. I guess every time when it's time to move, it's like, it's always something, it's always something. And I just be like pushing myself through, and, I'm always getting in the way. And when I say always getting in the way, y'all, I'm going to look for this paper in this bucket right here. When I say I'm always getting in the way, I really do truly believe that, God is a God of his word. And I do believe that, things happen for a reason. Things happen. I do believe that we all go through different phases in life. People have, friends and family and all kinds of ways of having, like people in their corner. And, when you don't have people in your corner, you kind of like feel, oh man, what's the word I want? You feel disconnected, in certain situations. You feel, isolated. You feel like you just don't belong, and you try your best, and you try your best, and you try your best to, like hold on and, say, hey, I got this, and, things are going to get better. And, you're trying to, push yourself through, and it just don't seem to like work out in your favor, but, if you, as myself, is a born again Christian, and the only person that I know that I can lean on and I can put my faith and my trust in, and that is God. I just always seem like, with me, it's not saying that in my mind, I'm not saying that, I don't trust God to do anything for me. But it comes to a place sometimes where, you don't want to always call on God for everything. You want to be able to do things, yourself. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to find this paper because I printed out this paper with all of the information that I was going to need to talk about, autism in adults. And I remember like talking about it, and I had to go and see that I make a video, heck, I hate saying so much, make a video about it, but I didn't. I think I just talked briefly, like some snippets about it. But man, that just blows me, and I can't even, like look it up on my iPad because the little boy broke it, and I keep asking them to take my iPad to the store to get it fixed, and they keep giving me ask Alexis, ask Shamira, ask Alexis. Then Alexis one day said, we're not taking that iPad to get fixed, but you have to be surprised when the new one comes. So I was just acting surprised. So one day I asked Shamira, she was like, just stop asking and just wait the process out. Because she didn't know that I know, and she still doesn't know that I know. But, so they're getting me a new iPad. Now I don't know when, but I know that it's coming. So I've been using the babies, but let me see if I can go over here. No, because then it's going to show my shadow up in the ceiling. So I'm just going to have to try to, remember some of these things um, in my brain. But I know for me, because I trust so much in God, that He is the author and finisher of my faith, and He's the source and strength of my life, that I sometimes want to be able to do things myself, and like with this situation with having to move, if I had like really like a year or 2 years to, start preparing for this, I would be so, so happy that I would have succeeded in planning, because planning is everything. And it seemed like this young lady, when she was talking about, being autistic, it was like everything had to be like perfect, and I see my life is not being perfect at all. It seems like every time I mention something of the unordinary, people always find a reason to like tear it down, and I feel like in my mind and in my soul that no one actually believes in me, um, and that's why I'm nothing. You know, I feel like I just am just existing. To be honest, I'm that's what I feel. And the most hurt out of all of the things that I've ever put myself in or spoke out on so freely and so adamantly about was being adopted. And it just seemed like everybody, not everybody, but the majority of people like tore it down. It was just like ripped from me. And especially the producer who was calling me about some TV show that they were trying to, put out there. And he was asking me all of these questions, and he would give me time to prepare myself, which was good because I never knew what questions or anything he was going to ask. But just the fact that I had to prepare myself to look pretty and all of that, it really um, made it feel in my mind that it was going to happen. And I remember a phone call from him, and he was asking some questions. And, he kind of like caught me off guard with asking these questions. And, I was getting tongue tied, and I was like, I don't know, I don't remember, this, that, and the other. And then later on, after I thought about some of the questions that he asked, I did give him those answers. But it was just like the way he was coming at me was like I was a liar. And I didn't appreciate that, because the one thing I'm not is a liar. And so the other day I was just thinking to myself, you know, um, I was just thinking to myself about maybe if I can't physically be adopted by a family, I was like, I wonder what it would just feel like to just pretend. You know, what if I chose a family and I was like, look, we don't have to do anything on paper, but pretend, and then I just had to like tell myself, I don't even know how that even sounds to, pretend that this is your mother, pretend that this is your father, and you are, telling your whole hard feelings, and you are acting and telling things that is so real. How can you pretend? That didn't make sense. So, in my mind, I tried to like play it out in my mind as I was laying down in the bed, and, the way that I was thinking it, it was almost like it was real, even though, I don't know, at the end of the day, or, they may even feel at some point, how long is this fairy tale going to continue? Or when is this fairy tale going to end? Um, and there is no ending to this fairy tale. It's just that I don't know, and that's just how it just also made me go back to think about this adult autism thing. And, you know, um, I don't know. And just like the young lady was saying that she didn't know if there was like a spectrum chart for when you are an adult and you basically are diagnosing yourself because you don't need any medication or anything like that. It's just a fact of, you know, like hurt. And I could really feel in this lady that was talking, and she was married and she has two children, and the father has ADHD, and the children have it as well. I mean, those children were so hyper they couldn't even sit down and hold a one-word sentence. But as far as the mother, she um, she felt like it had something to do in her childhood, like how the way she was brought up, how she was neglected, how, and it made, it triggered me. And I was like, okay, I remember I did a video um, some time ago about triggers. And I was like, it is certain things that trigger me. And like the other day, someone in a message, they used the word dumb. And that is one of my trigger words. And, I was like, well, is she calling me dumb or is she calling the situation dumb? Um, I don't know. And I just feel like, I don't know. Then today I get another message and the trigger word was greed. And the one thing when she said that, it made me think back to when I was being greedy about something. So I changed the numbers around so that I wouldn't be greedy. Um, and then they was like, they said they was gonna help me with something. Then they changed their mind and they said that they wouldn't help me with something. And I was okay with it. You know why? Because I was like, here you go again. You're getting in God's way of blocking your blessing by jumping the gun again, because things is not happening the way you want it to happen. So, then I was talking to my daughter, and I'm really adamant now about something. And, you know, back, it was like maybe last year or maybe the year before last, but I think it was last year. I'm trying to think because I remember my beard was turned a certain way. So I think that was like last year. Mm, no, it might have been the year before last. And I remember a couple of things. I remember talking about how this pastor was um, how this pastor was preaching about, you know, we don't have to be mediocre. We don't have to settle for less. And I remember in the last video I was talking about, I jumped from one thing to another thing, and that really made it my little scenario about autism, adult autism, come out, because that was one of the signs. I never did finish the ending of the story, but I'm going to finish the ending of the story now because I'm not going to jump into another subject. I'm going to go ahead and finish the story. But the moral of that story was that, you know, the man was at church, he was preaching, and he was telling the congregation that he needed X amount of dollars, but I don't think he actually said the actual number. So, you know, he just ran an offering, and, you know, the church did whatever they do, you know, when it's offering time. So after the church service was over with, a man walked up to the preacher, and he told the preacher, he said, you get one shot at this. He said, just one shot at this. So, you know, go home and think about it, and we'll meet up for like lunch or something. And, you know, so when it was time for them to meet up for lunch, he said, you know, they were just talking. He said, well, let's kill the elephant in the room now. What is the amount that you need to, for whatever it is that you needed this money for? And he said, you only get one time. So, you know, the man, you know, gave him the amount that he needed. So, you know, the person said to the pastor, oh, that's all? He was like, oh, okay, well, let me, you know, call my secretary and my accountant and have them, you know, get the information, and, you know, we'll get the check over to you. So the pastor, you know, became greedy, and, you know, like, he wanted to change his amount. But, you know, the preacher had already told him, or not the preacher, the person had already told him that you get one shot at this. So, you know, like, maybe the next day went on, and or 2 or 3 days went by, and, you know, he hadn't heard anything from the guy. So the preacher, you know, called the man, and, you know, was like, you know, maybe I should have asked for, you know, this amount of money and that amount of money, because, you know, this could help, you know, this thing, and that this could help that thing. But, you know, the man wasn't paying him any attention, because he had already told him that you get one a time. So the moral of that story was, when you are faced with that type of situation, and you know that it is something that you need, don't be greedy and, you know, try to come up with some astronomical number of, you know, what you need. You know, if you know you only need $25,000, or you know you need $400,000, you know, then so be it. But to just all of a sudden come up with, oh, well, I could, use another 100,000 for this and another 250,000 for that and another 675,000 for this. That's why people get into greed and, things that you don't need, and when I look at some of these videos, it makes me think that. So it also made me think of another pastor that came to the church, and the pastor was like, we don't serve a mediocre God. So if there's something that you want, don't settle for less, go for more. So that's when, I was like living on this high of getting a Mercedes truck. And, then, I started playing around with, downgrading myself, so it made me feel like, if there was somebody out there that was going to, listen to the voice of God, which I already know that God did speak to somebody and, laid it on this person's heart. I just don't know who the person is. This person is looking at me like, oh, she's inconsistent. She doesn't know what she wants, because I started listening to other people, and even till today, I'm still sticking and standing my guns on what I said that I want, and it's not going to be no ifs, ands, and buts about to change it. And the other day I was talking about it, and because it's just something that my faith that I'm so strong in, um, that I believe in. And, someone was saying, well, you shouldn't think like that. Um, you should go back to the way that you was thinking and go the cheaper route and, get the smaller thing. And I was just like saying to myself, I didn't even, let that dwell within me, because then that would have opened up a whole nother can of worms. And then I was just telling myself, I was like, well, self, at the time right now, I'm not even thinking about the vehicle right now, because my main focus right now is a roof over my head. So, that is more important right now, is to get a roof over my head, because, people are leaving and I live on the third floor, and it's nothing that this apartment right here that we're living in could do for me. I said, they could be all gone, and, Alexis has gone off to school and I'm just stuck here. And it doesn't matter, no matter how I sit and think about it and dwell on it, I still have to think about how I get the walker up the steps, how I get the packages up the steps, how I get the mail up the steps. Shoots, how do I even get myself up the steps? That's 3 flights, and that's not even counting the flight of stairs that's on the outside of the building to get into the inside of the building. So no matter how you look at it, your girl still has to move. So, I was just like, oh, wow. So, it just made me go back, and forth to, the lady with the autism. And, she brought her sister on, and her sister was saying the same thing, that her sister feels as though she also has autism. She was like, because, she can't process, certain things that we go through on a daily basis. And I was like, what, when you sit down and you think about it, I had to think about the things that they were saying and add them to my life. And I was like, I don't know. Um, I think I fit the criteria, but is that something that I want to accept? You know, I was like, I don't think that I want to accept that in my life. I was like, because that's just um, something that I don't want to add to what's going on. It's just like I don't want to add that after I got finished with therapy on Friday, and this is no lie, it's no sugarcoating it or nothing. I'm just telling it like it is. Um, I worked out with the lady, and we didn't do nothing strenuous that I could think of. It was just sitting down, lifting your leg, putting it down, lifting your leg, putting it down. 10 reps equaled one um, thing, and then you would do the next um, leg, and those 10 equaled one thing, and then you go on to the second one because you was only supposed to do two. Then you was moving your feet, from sideways to sideways. Then you stood up on your tippy toes. Then you like move your legs back and forth, back and forth. So it wasn't anything strenuous. There was one thing that I knew that I couldn't do, and that was like instead of marching forward, it was like marching sideways. And I couldn't do that because I didn't have the stability to do that. But with my walker, I was able to walk um, from like where my TV is to where the patio is. But after it was all said and done, I sat there on the couch, on the ottoman for a few minutes, and I had to keep telling myself, okay, self, you got to get up. Because at that point, that's when I was really feeling like, okay, um, I'm really, really stiff right now, and I'm really in a lot of pain. So I was like, let me go upstairs and, take a shower. But by the time I got to the top of the steps, I had to go to the bathroom to do a boo boo, TMI. And I had to Google that because I thought maybe something was wrong, but Google said that that's normal. So I took my shower and everything, but I was extremely, extremely tired, y'all. I was not just extremely tired. I was in extreme pain. It was like a pain I never ever felt before in my life when it comes down to, working out and things like that. I was like, now I know that these things that we did is just like something that I do on a daily basis. I walk to the front door. I may go downstairs in the kitchen. I may come back up those 3 flights, those 3 little steps. I just didn't understand why my body felt this way. And my body just literally shut down. And it was in so much pain. It was in so much pain too. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. It was in um, that amount of pain that I would just wish that I died. That's how bad the pain was. It didn't matter. I couldn't go to sleep because the pain was so bad. When I finally did, fall off to sleep, I could still feel the pain in my sleep. So when I did wake up, I just, went to the bathroom. I was like, well, you better find some strength from somewhere, sister, because you got to go to the bathroom. Um, and I only had to go to do number one. And so I went to the bathroom and I crawled back up in this bed. And like I said, I don't get in the bed the normal way. I don't even know what is the normal way anymore of getting in a bed. I really don't know. I just get in the bed the way I get in the bed. And I was like, okay, let me eat a little something so I can take some pain medication. And before physical therapy, I didn't take any pain medication because I didn't feel as though I was going to need any because I didn't know, what was going to happen. So today is now Sunday, And I don't know why I was thinking that there was 3 more days. I guess I was counting because I had physical therapy at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I maybe was counting that day. But irregardless, physical therapy is tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock on Monday, and we're gonna be outside with the steps. And she didn't feel comfortable recording on um, her first time, so I explained to her about my YouTube channel and what my channel was about, and how I couldn't think of the word transparent on Friday. So, I was just telling her my life is like an open book, and my subscribers, they love to see when I work out, because that just shows the initiative that I am trying to, you know, fix what's broken. So I'm not sure if she's going to feel comfortable um, tomorrow being on camera. But really, if she doesn't even have to be on camera, she can just talk and, show me what to do, since we're going to be outside on the steps. Maybe she can just like hold the camera, um, that way, because I already know that that's going to be a challenge within itself. And I told her it was better to work on the outside than on the inside, because the inside there's only one banister to get up those 3 steps, versus being in the hallway where there's 2 railings to come down the steps. So that's what the workout is going to be on tomorrow. Um, and we'll just go from there. I'm not sure what Wednesday's um, workout is going to be. And I know for me, like I said, when it comes back down to um, the adult autism thing, how we came up with 9 o'clock in the morning is, I know that I'm generally like awake around that time to like take my medication and stuff like that. So I know that I was going to already be awake, versus I take several naps throughout the day, and I don't know what time that I'm going to take the nap. So I don't want to interfere with that nap time, um and then I oversleep it and I miss the workout. um so yeah. um yeah, so I just know that 9 o'clock will work better for me. Now, I am going to take my pain medication before she comes, and I'm only going to do that just because I know that we're going to be dealing with the stairs, and I don't want to ever feel like how I felt then, like on Friday. I don't want to ever feel like that again, because that was just like the worst pain ever, and I'm still trying to find a place to live. And I did speak with, um, what do you call a lady? She's not the travel agent, the rental, she's not the travel agent. Um, she's the real estate agent. Okay, come on, girl. See, these are those things that I be telling y'all. The real estate agent, and they're all, her and the other lady were like, well, do you want to buy? And I'm like, there's no way I would be able to buy a house. Well, not a house. Stick with what you say, honey. Call it as it is. There's no way that I would be able to buy a condo off of $13,000 a year. It's no way humanly possible, other than the grace of God to step in and intervene, and that's just the only way. And to just, buy one out, I don't even think it's no such thing as anybody even having something to buy for that low amount of money. So, I did reach out to um, the landlord and let him know that I was going to need a little bit more time because I still haven't even had my intake with the Georgia authorities yet. So I have to wait that out. And once I wait that out, um, I would be homeless. And, I don't want to have to put my stuff in storage because that's an additional fee that, is not even in the budget. I just want to be able to just find a place where I'm going to go and have them, you know, take it there and so be it. So that's all that's been going on, and that's how what this video is about the autism, adult autism, um, and it is a such thing, and it's not as if you was brought up um, being artistic or having autism. This is something where, as you got older into your adulthood, that you fit the spectrum that you are an adult living with autism. And it is a such thing as, they say, well, in some certain instances, people can't live on their own and people can't survive on their own, but you can live a great life um, being an adult having autism. You can live a normal life. You can pay bills, you can drive your car, you can take your kids here, take your children there. You can do all those things. And just because you have um, a certain label on your life doesn't mean that that label has to make you a bad person. You know, it doesn't mean that, because you could be the nicest person in the world, you know, and it just so happens that you have a label on your name, you know. So if there's anybody out there who is artistic or who is mentally challenged or who is morbidly obese, someone who just don't have it together, you just can't process things, you can still make it and you can still live your life normally. Now, are there going to be some ups and downs along the road? Yes, but you know what? You cross those bridges when you get to them. You know, don't let anybody tear you down or make you feel any worse than what you are, because you know who you are at the end of the day. People can speculate and call you all kinds of names, or, see you in certain situations, and, from their perspective, they're giving you their opinion of how they perceive you, but maybe you couldn't speak your life into the way that your life is. So they just gonna judge you off of what they see and what they know. Don't let that get you down, because people are always going to put some type of label on you, or you know try to bring you down or make you feel bad about certain situations and things like that. Hold your head up high, and you just keep reaching towards the sky and keep reaching towards your goals in life. And don't let nothing stop you from reaching for what you want. If you are a firm believer in it, then you keep on going, because I'm going to keep on going, because I know that I'm going to find these adoptive parents some way, somehow. I don't know how, but I'm going to keep on talking about it. I'm going to keep on investigating. I'm going to keep on praying that, God would lead the perfect person that fits all of the criterias that I have, which is not many at all, which is just, someone who has no criminal past, someone who's not on drugs, someone who is really going to love me for me, someone who's going to love my children, my grandchildren. They're going to love us. Um, they're going to show compassion and empathy towards us. They're going to be that parent that, if you need to talk about something, they're going to be there to listen. They're going to be there to coach you along the way. They're going to be there to let you know that everything is going to be all right. They're going to be the parent that's going to introduce you to the rest of your family members, and they're going to interact with you, and you're going to interact with them. So, yeah, that's all that I have to say. And I know that this has been a very long, drawn out video. I've talked about a lot of how I feel. I don't know if there's a way. I guess I would have to speak to a psychiatrist or something to see if there's some kind of test to determine if I did fall in that criteria of being an adult who has just recently found out that she does suffer from certain traits of autism. I will look into that this week, and I will definitely let you all know what she says. And secondly, I'm happy that I was able to finish off the closure to the story that I was telling y'all, because that was something that did worry me, that I never even finished it. So I'm happy about that, and I'm glad that I was able to let you all know how physical therapy went, my first session, and the second session is tomorrow with the stairs. And even though I was in pain, I was still doing some of the exercises that I did on Friday, because she did tell me don't stop, just continue to keep working out, because that's definitely going to help. So I did do that. So that was my weekend, everybody, and that's how I came up with about adult autism. But I wish I had that piece of paper that I could continue to tell y'all about. I'll probably wind up having to print it, because I did put everything in my notes on my phone. And I don't know if I read this. I did remember reading something that somebody had wrote to me for the new month. I do remember that. So I don't know if I read the stuff about the adult autism or not. I can't remember. But thank y'all again. Please click like and share this video. And I'll see you all in the next video.